You asked for it, and now you get it. Today's episode of the Bionicle Inspiration series, the show where we inspire you by taking a look at cool Bionicle mocks. Today's episode, it's all about simple mocks. What does that mean? Well, mocks that don't require too many pieces to make them. Mocks that don't use super complex techniques. Mocks that pretty much anyone could make, no matter their skill level. Now, of course, when I say simple, that doesn't mean bad. There's an art to simplicity, and there's an art to really complex designs as well. Both of them have a lot of different merits, and both of them look really, really good. But today we're going to be looking at some simple builds, and we're going to give you some ideas so that you can make some yourself. Kicking us off is Tahu Mystica Red version by Bob the Doctor 27. Now look, I love the Toa Mystica. I ain't got no problems with them. In this house, we stand those beautiful Toa. But I know some people aren't too jazzed about their designs. People don't like the masks, people don't think they even really look like the original Toa Mata all that much. I get it. Yeah, maybe you look at some of those old designs and you're like, there's stuff here I really don't like. Maybe if LEGO just changed one or two different details or things, it would look so much better. Well, if you think that, build it yourself. Make those changes, build that ultimate version of that character that you think that set should have been. Bob the Doctor did exactly that. Yeah, swapping out all of the dark red pieces for Mata red pieces, it gives Tahu that classic look and gives him a color scheme that he actually previously had. We also have his Nuva mask, and I think this really complements this knight-like silver armor. Bob also added a few more details onto the jet engines, there's some spikes on the legs, and there's a little bit more armor here and there. All of these little changes add so much. It's like a breath of fresh air on this older LEGO set. So look, if you want to make a simple mock, take an existing set and swap out some of the pieces, recolor that set. It's a pretty easy and a pretty quick way to make something awesome. Let's transition into a wonderful mock that showcases Breakout Surge, and this was made by Paul X Mock Building. So comparing this to the original set, things are pretty similar, but they have a new foot design. The armor on the legs, it's changed a fair bit. Surge, he looks taller. Yeah, they've given him new silver armor on the shoulders. Yeah, actually, I really like this design too. Placing the silver add-on armor just one peg above, and then using the additional peg to place a translucent Borok eye on. That's clever. Look, this revamp is very similar to the set, but they have made some minor changes. They've made some tweaks to the design, and all of it makes him look so much better. Let's go back to that shoulder design. What a clever and fun challenge to try and replicate an original look, but use a totally different technique to do so. Yeah, maybe that's a fun way that you could build a simple mock. Take an existing set and use totally different techniques to capture that same look. Or just make some minor tweaks here and there. And also, look at the epic results that you can get when you pretty much only use prefab CCBS bone pieces, torso pieces, and armor. That's all this mock is using, except for maybe the foot design there. But still, it's so easy to make a well-crafted mock only using those types of pieces. That's the power of CCBS, baby. Stoob the Bionicle Man gives us their own take on Umbra. So this revamp is taking the original Titan set that you see here, but making him smaller. I kinda love that. Maybe you just don't have space on your shelf for a larger Bionicle set. So you gotta make them a little smaller, otherwise they're just not gonna fit. Or maybe you really want a specific large set, but you can't afford it. So try and make it yourself using pieces that you do have in your collection. Maybe the end result might end up a little bit smaller than the set was, but hey, you've got that character now. Anyway, look at this mock. We have legs and arms that use your typical prefab limb pieces. These are the same basic arm and leg pieces that come in pretty much any Toa set. I mean, look at these upper arms and the lower arms. They're using like 4 pieces total. It's simple, it's minimal, but it still looks really nice. There's a beauty in simplicity sometimes. Yeah, look, it's nice to sink 75,000 pieces into one arm design. It certainly makes it look fancy. But sometimes 4 pieces can look just as good. And why not do what this mock does? Have very minimal limbs, but then you sink tons of parts and tons of details into the torso. I mean, you've got feet pieces here for shoulder armor, you've got an Anika torso for the torso, and then you got another one on top of it in Keat Orange. 2 torsos in one, giving it this weird bent, funky look. Very fancy. Simple limbs and a detailed torso, it produces some great results. And then you can use some weapons for feet. That too is a great idea. Polo Builder gives us two adorable Matoran. We have Raku, Dive Patrolman, and also Mahi, Jetpack Patrolman. Now, the basic frames of these Matoran, once again, it's using a lot of CCBS bone and armor pieces. Nothing too crazy. In fact, these designs are pretty similar to the original Protector sets that you're seeing on your screen right now. But hey, those sets rocked. So maybe next time you build something, take an existing set and just copy that exact same frame or the overall design. Maybe you can swap out some of the colors, or maybe you can give them some fancy new accessories, or just add your own personal touch to it. But look, if a previous design works, then it works. Just steal it. There's literally nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, how good do these mocks look? I love, love, love the goggles on this one here. The fact that they can flip up and flip down, genius. And then using a silver Borok weapon for a cute little shield, adorable. These are great. Care Creations has a mock called Revenger Mark 1. This is an awesome design, but when we take a closer look, it's nice and simple. The torso is just using the Galador body piece that came from this set right here. This is Nepal and Shimmel. You can of course see that Shimmel is using this large white body piece. But yeah, you can repurpose it into the body of this evil robot. All you have to do is place a few separate pieces on there to cover up some gaps, and of course give it an eye, and you got something beautiful. But now the limbs. Nice and thin, just using some Technic connectors and axles. You know, I hear that's actually Cody Avery's favorite technique, and I get it. Why wouldn't it be? It's only using a few different pieces, and it makes something that looks really nice. Thin limbs like this are such an easy and cost-effective way to design a mock. All you need is the same piece repeated multiple times, and you're good to go. A design like this isn't going to break the bank in terms of cost, and it's not overly complicated or difficult to build. I love it. Bra'onicles has a sick mock for us now that's called Glassnado. Now this creation is repeating this specific piece multiple times. Which piece? Well, it is this lovely tornado piece that comes in this Ninjago set. If we take a closer look and zoom in a little bit here, we can see it right here. Of course, it's meant to represent a ninja using spinjitzu. But look at that. Get three of them together and they form this really funky body design with an eye in the middle. Then you got two of them on each arm, two of them for feet as well. Hey, that's great. And actually, if we removed all of these different tornado pieces, that's like 80% of this mock. The rest is just pretty basic limbs that link it all together. So if you have a larger supply of one specific piece, see if you can use them all together across one specific mock. Suddenly you're going to end up with the majority of the creation already being finished, and you'll just have to make a couple tweaks to round it off. Using odd pieces in creative ways, things that are a little bit outside of the box. That's the perfect way to build an incredible mock. And the idea of parts spamming, just repeating the same piece over and over again, that's another very simple technique that looks awesome. And finally, the all-seeing eye has made Takodox, but this time they're black and white. Well, with small hints of silver as well. Now, we know of course that Takodox originally was a glow-in-the-dark blue color. But hey, if you remember, this Toa Terrain Crawler set, it came with Takodox's mask in white, as well as the same blades in a black and white marbled color. I mean, just looking at these pieces, they are begging to be used in a mock like this. And look, there's plenty of other pieces out there that would work really well for a good color swap on a character. For example, we've got Fernobike. In that set, you get this beautiful orange Borok windscreen piece. You could easily use this and build yourself an all-orange Borok. That would be pretty cool. Alternatively, the awesome set Karzani comes with this dark blue Matoran, and they're wearing a dark blue Wenua mask. Why not use this to make yourself an all-dark blue Wenua? I've just listed two pieces, but there's plenty others that you could do the same kind of concept with. A good old color swap like that, it's fun. And it's going to be really easy to build too. All you have to do is go onto lego.com and look up the instructions for that set, and literally follow the instructions. But you just got to swap out the pieces for the different color. It's easy, and it's fun. So there you go, gang. That's lots of different ways that you could build some simple mocks. Whether you make the same character but try new techniques to recreate it, whether you recolor a set and swap out a few things that you don't like, you could make a set a little bit smaller and give them some nice, simple, but awesome looking limbs. You could take the basic frame of an existing set and change it to suit your style. You could also just build some really thin limbs. Or why not find a cool part and spam it a bunch until you make something awesome? Or, I don't know, a simple color swap. That's all you need to make some good, simple mocks. If you enjoyed the mocks that you saw in today's episode, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. You can see more from those builders right there. Also in the description below and on your screen right now is the submission email. So if you'd like to see your mock featured on a future episode of the show, that's the way to do so. Send me an email and I'll see what I can do. And hey, I made this episode because someone in the comments said, hey Ben, can you do an episode about simple mocks? So if you've got ideas for future episodes of the Bionicle Inspiration series or any of the other shows that we have on this channel, let me know. I'll see what I can do. I may not say yes to every idea, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you so, so much. Happy building, and bye for now.